Hey guys, and thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Kelly. This is K Bella Beauty. I hope you'll subscribe before you go. If you are not new, you might have noticed that I really haven't been as active on Instagram, which is just K Bella Beauty, and even here on YouTube. I really try to get videos up every Wednesday and Saturday, but it's kind of been every Wednesday lately, and I think there was even a week that I didn't get a video up at all. April and May are just really busy for me career-wise. That's a busy time in my career. And of course, I do have a job outside of YouTube. This is just a hobby of mine. And so because of the stuff that was going on in my career, YouTube and Instagram just kind of had to fall on the back burner. But I'm back and I hope to get a bunch of videos up for you. So thank you to those of you who have been patient and have been sticking around. I'm just really thankful that you guys have kind of stuck through that with me. So anyway, today I'm here with another spin on the YouTube Made Me Buy It videos. If you've been watching YouTube for a while, you've probably seen that there are YouTube Made Me Buy It videos where people just kind of list off specific products that they were inspired to get from either YouTube or YouTubers. There have also been YouTuber specific videos like Jaclyn Hill made me buy it, Kathleen Lights made me buy it. Those are the two really popular YouTubers that people have been making videos on. And I do have a YouTube made me buy it, and I also have a Jaclyn Hill made me buy it video, so I will link both of those down below. But I decided to focus on brands. So I am here to show you some brands that YouTube made me buy. And of course, these are brands that I really think I wouldn't have purchased from if it weren't for YouTube. So if you want to see some of the brands that YouTube inspired me to buy, go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so I'm not really going in any particular order. I just have the products listed in front of me. But one brand that YouTube definitely inspired me to purchase from is the brand Makeup Geek. Now this is my Makeup Geek palette. These are not even all of the Makeup Geek shadows that I have. I do have another palette with other shadows in it, but this is my main Makeup Geek palette, and I love Makeup Geek shadows. They are some of my favorite formulas, and I really like that you can kind of customize your own palette with Makeup Geek. Sometimes when you purchase palettes, you know that there are a couple shades in there that you're never going to use, but when you purchase single shadows and put them in a Z palette, you know that you're going to get wear out of those shades. So I started watching Marlena or Makeup Geek when I first heard that watching YouTube videos were a thing, and I remember when Makeup Geek just started. It was really new to her. She only had shadows at the time, and I liked that they were real affordable in my opinion. Now if I were to like calculate how much this palette cost me, I'm sure it would no longer be affordable, but each of the shadows at the time I think were $5.99. I think they're like $6 now, but I felt like the shadows were just really affordable and I could kind of customize my own palette, and that really drew me to Makeup Geek. But Marlena has since expanded her brand, and she has lipsticks, and I'm pretty sure she has like eyeliners or lip liners or things like that. But I also do have two of her highlighters. I got her regular highlighter in the shade Luster. This one's just like a nice pink shade. It kind of looks dark in the pan, but it works really nice on my fair skin. And I also picked up one of her duochrome shades in Lit. And this is a beautiful duochrome highlighter. It gives you a nice pink but peach but golden look on your cheek, and it's just absolutely beautiful. But if it weren't for YouTube, I'm pretty sure that I probably never would have heard of Makeup Geek, and even if I heard of Makeup Geek, I don't think that it's something I would have purchased from, just because you can only purchase online. Another brand that you can only purchase online is ColourPop. Now I do have some lippies from ColourPop, and I also do have some of their Super Shock shadows. I don't have any of their pressed pigments, and I don't have any more of their lippy sticks. I did have the lippy stick in Tootsie, but I no longer have that. However, I do still have some of the Super Shock shadows and the liquid lipsticks. Now who was the first person that I heard talk about ColourPop? I honestly can't even remember, but I think ColourPop's only like 3 years old. And I remember when people first started talking about it, all that I heard them talk about were these Super Shock shadows. And of course, Kathleen Lights did several collabs with ColourPop, which I think really put them on the map. And I did purchase her original collab, which was the Kathleen Lights, what was it? In the Light palette or something. I don't remember, but it was a quad filled with 4 different Super Shock shadows, and I just wasn't really a fan of them, so I ended up giving it away just because you can really only apply these with your finger. I have not found a brush. I've tried all kinds of brushes, and I haven't found one where I could really apply this nicely. So for that reason, I mean, like a matte shadow, like how am I going to blend that into the crease? So I got rid of that one. Then I tried several of their lippies. These are not all of the lippies that I have, but one of the very first ColourPop liquid lipsticks that I got, you can't even see any of the writing on it, but it's Trap, and I'm down to here on it. I love their liquid lipsticks. I know that some people say that it's a really drying formula. I don't find it to be too drying on the lips. I actually find Anastasia Beverly Hills to be more drying than ColourPop. So these liquid lippies are a hit for me. I did also pick up the second quad, which was like In the Night with Kathleen Lights and ColourPop, and I kept this quad around. But the reason why I decided to try these out were all of these shades can be used on the lid. So if I do use them, I will use my finger. But I don't think that I ever would have heard of ColourPop if it weren't for YouTube. And again, even if I did hear about it, I probably wouldn't purchase from them just because you can only get them online. One thing that YouTube has definitely gotten me into are false lashes. If it weren't for YouTube, I wouldn't wear false lashes at all, but I was familiar with like Kiss lashes and Ardell lashes before I started watching YouTube videos. However, I had never purchased any. Once I did start actually making my own YouTube videos, that's when I started purchasing lashes, and I did start with the Ardell Demi Wispies that can be found at the drugstore. But since I've started wearing false eyelashes more regularly, I have fallen in love with Cocoa lashes. Now, Amanda Ensing is the person responsible for me getting Cocoa lashes in Goddess, which is what I'm wearing right now. And then, of course, Katie from Luster Lux and Desi Perkins are the people who inspired me to try out Queen Bees. Again, I'm seeing a pattern here. I can only find Cocoa lashes online, and I actually purchased mine from the website Lady Moss. But these aren't something that I can find in store. They're pretty reasonably priced. I want to say they're like $5 or $6, but you can only get them online. So if it weren't for YouTube, I'm sure that I never would have even heard of these. Next up is Morphe brushes. Morphe brushes is another brand that's pretty new to the scene, and I'm pretty sure that Jaclyn Hill was one of the first influencers who ever started talking about Morphe brushes. And in fact, she actually came up with this palette here, and this is the Morphe brushes Jaclyn Hill favorites palette. This is not the palette that she actually created the custom colors on. This was a palette where she took all of her favorite already there Morphe eyeshadows and kind of put them into one 28 pan palette. And I definitely snagged this when she first came out with it, and I really did love it for a long time. It doesn't get much love now just because I feel like there's always new makeup coming out, so it kind of gets tucked into a drawer. But Jaclyn Hill really brought Morphe brushes to the scene, and so I do enjoy their eyeshadows. But like I said, with the other brands ahead of Morphe, I don't live in California. I live in Texas, so I'm well aware that there is a Morphe store, but I will probably never go to it. So I really don't think that I would have ordered something online if I hadn't already heard about the brand. I do also have some of their brushes. I find their brushes to be affordable, and honestly, if it weren't for YouTube, I would probably just use whatever applicators came with drugstore eyeshadows. I never really bought brushes until I actually started watching YouTube, so that is definitely a YouTube made me buy it. I have 3 more brands to share with you, and this next brand is actually found at Sephora, But before I started watching YouTube, I didn't purchase a whole lot from Sephora. I was basically just a drugstore kind of girl, and I didn't really spend time on my skincare or anything like that. I also didn't know about eyebrows. Like, I did nothing with my eyebrows. And if you have seen my eyebrow video, then you know that like I literally don't have eyebrows. Like, I have to draw these on every day. So that kind of leads me into my next brand, Anastasia Beverly Hills, the queen of the eyebrows. I do get the brow definer and the brow wiz in caramel. I use them together, but I also do have some Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows. I have a quad with some of her single shadows. These were the first shadows that I got from her, as well as the Shadow Couture World Traveler palette and the collab with Mario, the Master palette by Mario. Now, even though I was familiar with Sephora and I was familiar with Anastasia Beverly Hills, I saw it in Sephora, I really think if it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't worry about my brows. I probably wouldn't do anything to them. And I also don't think that I would have actually spent the money to try Anastasia products, although I really do love them. Jouer is another brand that YouTube inspired me to buy. I did get this lip set. I can't remember what it's called, but I do have a whole video on it, so I'll link it down below. And it did actually come with 8 lippies. I gave 2 of them to my friend Smegs, but I wanted to try out the Jouer lips, and they are raved about on YouTube, but I just didn't have any, so I decided to get this little lip set, and I do like them. I don't find that I reach for them a lot. But again, if I didn't watch YouTube, I never would have heard of Jouer, and if I did hear of Jouer, I probably wouldn't have purchased anything from them. And I haven't really purchased a lot from them in general, and I do watch YouTube, so that's another YouTube made me buy it. Desi Perkins is one of my favorite YouTubers. I watch all of her videos. I watch her on Snapchat. I love her vlogs. I just think she's really talented. She did a collab with Key Australia, and I definitely wouldn't know who Desi was, and I definitely wouldn't know who Key Australia was, and I definitely wouldn't know who Key Australia is if it weren't for YouTube. But I do have 2 of her high keys. I have the high key gold. They came with the black packaging, and I also had to get the black fades. These are part of her newest release. She does have the black fades. She came out with some more colors. I think there's like silver and blue. The high keys were supposed to be limited edition. She sold out super quick, I think, the first time she came out with them. And then they ended up being so popular that they brought the sunglasses back, and now she's just been expanding and coming up with some more colors. They are pretty expensive. I think they're like $60, and I definitely would not buy $60 sunglasses if it wasn't specifically because it's a collab with Desi. However, I love Desi Perkins, I love the high keys, and YouTube definitely made me buy it. And that will wrap up the video. These are all of the brands that YouTube inspired me to purchase from. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I'd be really interested to hear in the comments down below, what are some brands that YouTube introduced you to that you actually ended up purchasing from? And do you think you really would have purchased from those brands if it weren't for YouTube? Because I honestly think that I wouldn't even know what some of these brands were, let alone purchase from them, if it weren't for my YouTube obsession. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.